For anybody that's not familiar with Philadelphia, can you describe what it was like growing up?
Growing up in Philly. Growing up in Philly was cool, man, because I grew up, I'm gonna say, like, in the golden years of Philly. You know what I'm saying? State property. It was, you know, I grew up in that state prop era, so it was more like everybody knew their place, everybody knew their lane, everybody wasn't trying to be one thing. It wasn't social media, which was like super organic and made like that time very sacred. It's like if you was there, you was there. If you wasn't, you missed out. It was dope, man. It was a little rough, I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Getting in the early fights just cause, walking to the store, getting chased to the barber shop. So I think like Philly kind of like, no matter what kind of kid you are, it kind of bring that dog out of you, because somewhere in your life, you're gonna have to like, just like become that fighter that you might not wanted to be, just to be able to go to the store type shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, I just feel like Philly was that great, it was a great time, it was a great essence when I grew up, and you got a lot of insight from the old heads. It was still that time where an old head would pull you to the side because you was doing some shit that you wasn't supposed to be doing. Certain people would guide you, yo, you need to play this sport, I know the coach, this, and that. So it was like a real community when I grew up in Philly, you know what I mean? It was always, you know, dumb shit going on, but it was kind of like that time where the people on the block who was doing negative stuff, everybody going to crib, you know what I'm saying? Until whatever's going on. It ain't just like super unorganized street stuff going on, you know what I'm saying? It was really, really cool. I think it was cool. I wouldn't want to grow up nowhere else.
What did you think about your opportunities at that time, you know, coming up? Did you think that you had limited opportunities? Did you think that it was going to be like either I'm in the streets or it's a 9 to 5, or is there any creative scene out there?
It is a creative scene in Philly at the time, but you had to kind of be in that mix. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of had to be one of the kids that went to art school or just knew somebody who was doing something in that creative space. Now parties and all that, like all the real Philly stuff, I was in the mix of all that, but I was also trying to find like that creative place where I can like let go of my ideas. I've always been like creating and thinking about stuff and just always thinking creatively, you know what I'm saying? But in Philly, it wasn't like a whole lot of places where you can kind of channel that energy to keep it real. That was the question, right?
Yeah. Is that why you got into basketball?
So I got into basketball. So me being young, I'm gonna start from maybe like where I can remember, probably like 7 to 12, I was just super into art. You know what I'm saying? Stayed in my room. We moved to Southwest when I got about 8, 9 years old. So Southwest is a little bit different than West Philly. You know what I'm saying? All the kids played sports. West Philly, everybody was fighting and breaking windows, all that kind of shit, graffiti. They was doing everything to get locked up in West Philly. So my mom switched schools with me at like 5th grade. So I went to Southwest, and Southwest was different. Like everybody played sports. So I would be meeting these new kids that wasn't really into the stuff that West Philly kids was into. They more like, yo, we at the park, come to the park game. And I've always been tall. So I'm thinking like 12 years old, 11 years old when I started playing ball. I was already like 5'11". All my homies like 5'4", 5'6". So they like, bro, you gotta come to the park. So that's what really got me into basketball. My dad played basketball, but me, I was into gymnastics. So I love like Dominique Dawes. I was like different, bro. Motor X Cross, what is it called? X Games and all that type stuff. So I had one of my closest homies was into all that stuff, comic books, X Games. So that's where my attention would be directed. But when I walk outside, everybody like, yo, you gotta come to the park, bro. You a weirdo. Why you just be staying on the block? This and that. And I'm just like, first, I'm new to Southwest. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother world from West Philly blocks where I was used to. So I got into basketball just being in a new environment where everybody played ball and being taller than everybody. And that's what it turned into. And then I grew to love it.